you believe that Tom Selleck was rejected twice on the dating game? Since then, he's done pretty well. Tonight on PM Magazine, America's Heartthrob talks to Marilyn Beck about some things that are troubling him and why he won't turn his back on Magnum P.I.
Then, PM star Loretta Swit takes you on a tour of a very special zoo.
I think they think I'm their mother.
Visit an orphanage for animals whose mothers left them behind.
And take off those skinny ice skating blades and put on some tennis shoes. We're going to play broom ball.
Good evening and welcome to the fun and excitement of the Ontario Winter Carnival Bonsu for the Monday night edition of PM Magazine. I'm Kathy Grimbala.
And I'm Rob Hazelton. Thanks for joining us tonight for the opening ceremonies of the Bonsu Festival. Over 100 events going on all this first week of February, of which includes what we're going to be seeing tonight, which will be a fireworks display and a family dance and the jazz band ball afterward at the Holiday Inn in Sault Ste. Marie. We've got a lot more coming up throughout the week here on PM Magazine.
And we certainly hope you'll be with us all this week on PM Magazine. Now, in our first story tonight, Tom Selleck has been starring in Magnum P.I. for 5 years now, and even though the series seems to be slipping in the ratings, Tom's appeal is still very strong. The women seem to really like him, and not just because of his good looks. They say he seems real decent and down to earth, which is hardly a description of your average sex symbol.
That's right, but in an interview with our Marilyn Beck, we found out that the man's image is close to reality. In fact, he seems like that nice, shy kid down the block, only he grew up to look like a movie star.
He was bachelor number 2 on the dating game twice, and both times Tom Selleck was rejected. My, how times have changed. As the hero on Magnum P.I., Tom has been America's heartthrob for the last 5 years.
Well, I know that it took you a long time until your big break came.
Yeah.
And you've said that there were times when you did plenty of falling on your face.
Oh, yeah. I think.
Like what?
Have you seen all the work? No, I've got some work out there that I would wince if it came out. And I don't know how bad it is. I might hate it more than other people, or they may think it's terrible. I don't know. It just, hopefully you keep growing as an actor. The fascinating thing about acting is you never stand still, hopefully. You never say, well, that's it. This is where I am. You keep learning, and you keep hopefully getting better. And so it's very frustrating. But, yeah, there's a lot of work I did that... And to really learn as an actor, you've got to extend yourself far enough to stick your neck out enough to fail. And sometimes you don't, if you stick your neck out that much, you're not going to always succeed. You're going to fail some of the time. And you learn a lot from that, but it's in front of millions of people. So.
Sure. In spite of the demands of Magnum, in the last 4 years, Tom has managed to squeeze in 4 television movies and 3 feature films, including High Road to China, Lassiter, and most recently, Runaway. Still, Tom remains loyal to the show that made him a star.
Your fame has become so far-reaching. Why don't you do what a lot of other actors have done and leave your series?
I have a contract.
But that hasn't meant anything to a lot of others.
I just think, look, when Magnum sold, I mean, in retrospect and at the time and everything else, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, work-wise. And to turn my back on that, Universal has deficit financed every episode of Magnum we've ever done. They get so much money from CBS, it's never enough to make the show at the quality level we want to make it. So they put out extra money for that show. And the only way they get that money back, they don't get it in the first 2 runs of the series, they get it back later in syndication. The other actors in the show are certainly as typed as I am. And this show is going to be very important to them because they'll have as much trouble as I'll have ever losing the Magnum image. So I think I owe it to my fellow actors, I owe it to myself, and it's not such a bad plight. It's a wonderful show to do. It's real challenging. It's very hard work, but I'm very proud of that show. So I don't want to leave it for a lot of reasons. The bottom line being, if you sign your name to something, you do what you say you're going to do. It's that simple.
So far, Tom has done over 100 episodes of Magnum, most of which have been in the top 10. This season, however, the series is getting some heavy competition from the Bill Cosby Show, and Tom isn't too happy about the potshot Cosby has been taking at Magnum.
The only thing I object to at all about the Cosby Show was a certain, what seemed like a certain orchestrated characterization of our show as a show of car chases and girls in bikinis and shootings, because obviously when Bill said that, he's never seen our show. And I didn't appreciate when he said that, but other than that, I'm a huge fan of his, and I'm glad his show is succeeding, because he's a wonderful actor.
Tommy, you have the reputation, justifiably, as one of the few great gentlemen in Hollywood.
That's probably because I'm never around.
Well, that might be it. Or in Hawaii. But I know sometimes the fan pressure gets to be a little too much. Do you consider yourself a private person? When do you think fans go beyond the line?
Well, I don't know. There's no way to figure out exactly how there's no rules that this will be acceptable to somebody when they get in the public eye, so you kind of find your own way. The way I found is to try not to change your values. When I'm at work at Magnum, and if we have crowds and it won't affect the scene I'm doing, I extend myself to those people. But I think rude is rude. And because you're in the public eye, doesn't give other people an excuse to change their values. And anybody who gets anywhere near where I live and stuff does not get a response from the same person.
You're not the same?
No, that's rude, and people go to your home because they're asked. And that's the only reason they should be going.
They should be going there.
Tom's always been very guarded about his personal life. He does remain close to his 11-year-old stepson, Kevin. However, he doesn't like to talk about his marriage to and his divorce from Kevin's mother, actress Jacqueline Ray. And he prefers not to discuss his current relationships.
Where would you like to be professionally and personally 10 years from now?
Personally, I would like to have settled down family-wise. And I'm not so sure anymore that's even possible when you're doing a series, or the odds are very slim. When Magnum is gone, which is inevitable in television, it's not a question of if it ever goes, they all go away sooner or later. I would like to be in a different situation family-wise, and because I've worked very hard for 4 years, that's kind of a way of paying my dues. I don't want to do that forever, because I think I'd be in a loony bin. You have to do something else besides act, or you're not going to be a very good actor.
As a matter of fact, Tom does have an outside interest, volleyball. And his teammates say that the only thing holding him back from being a first-class player is his TV series.
But that didn't stop him from serving as the honorary team captain for the men's USA Olympic volleyball team last summer. And coming up next on PM Magazine, join Loretta Swit at an animal orphanage. Welcome back to the opening ceremonies of the Ontario Winter Carnival Bonsu. Rob and I are having a wonderful time here, and as you can see going on behind us to kick off this week-long festivities and events of the Bonsu Carnival, there are a fabulous display of fireworks going on.
And they have snow sculptures going on tonight, too. Very cold night to be doing that sort of thing. And Michigan residents can come and enjoy the Bonsu Festival for the next 10 days or so, till the 10th of February, as a matter of fact. And you get a good rate on your American dollar, too. We get a 30% exchange rate, so it's very economical to come and enjoy the Bonsu Festival here in Sioux, Ontario.
Plus, it's great fun. We don't want to forget to mention that.
And our next story on PM Magazine, as any parent knows, it isn't easy raising kids, but we have to remind ourselves that we're only human and we make mistakes. Well, when animal parents have troubles and they can't cope, the San Diego Wildlife Zoo puts their babies in a foster program.
And it's called the Animal Care Center, and it functions very much like a people's foster home does. PM Magazine star Loretta Swit visited the center, and she found herself becoming a surrogate antelope mama. Look at this guy's eating the ball. Get away from me. Hi.
I'm Loretta Switten. These little critters are just a few of about 30 young ones at the Animal Care Center in the San Diego Wild Animal Park. This is an orphanage for baby animals whose mothers can't or won't take care of them. And I think they think I'm their mother.
The Wild Animal Park is a special place. About 2,300 animals of 200 different species roam freely in this preserve, and almost 1.5 million visitors see them every year. Naturally, these critters make a lot of babies, but sometimes the mamas don't do a very good job with them. That's where the Animal Care Center comes in. They look after the newborns until they're old enough to be returned to the park or to be shipped to another zoo. Lynn Genero is the senior keeper here.
This guy's real aggressive, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Either that or
They're
he's
just
real
friendly.
hungry.
They're just
real
got weaned.
hungry, huh?
She came to us from the zoo. She's here staying in our exotic corral until she's old enough to be put back out with the herd.
Tell me her name again. It's very exotic.
So Altai Wapiti.
Altai Wapiti.
Mm-hmm.
What did you feed her?
This is a mixture of cow's milk and water.
She loved it. Look at that tail go.
Now, it's not easy persuading a young wild animal to eat. They're picky and high-strung. So Lynn has to coax them to nurse from a bottle by imitating what their mothers would do, patting their bottoms or making motherly noises. Lynn calls these animal vocalizations.
Let me hear the sound you're making.
I get the easy part. I get the fun part.
The Animal Care Center deals mainly with hooved babies, like these deer and antelope. But they also handle the strange and unusual, like this Abyssinian hornbill. Speaking of strange, meet Helen the pygmy hippo. She's not the most well-mannered little thing, but she's only 3 months old.
Hello, Helen.
She's pretty slimy.
She's pretty slimy, yeah.
Protects her skin from all the water.
And from the sun? Yes, you sure are. You sure are slimy.
And so are Helen's parents. Larry and Martha Hippo have had 8 other offspring, but none survived. Seems Martha's not a very good mother. She's ignored her babies and even rolled over one while it was nursing. Well, to keep Helen from getting squashed, Lynn and the other keepers are raising Helen themselves.
Look, Helen. Is she tired?
Oh, boy. Here's your tire, Helen. Let's see. She is going to do it. Oh, how cute.
When we first put her in the stall, we had a smaller tire, and it had a smaller hole, and she used to be able to go through it.
Look at her.
When she got bigger,
How cute.
she got so big she couldn't fit through the hole in the tire. We had to get one with a bigger hole. Now she's getting too big for this one.
The success record here is good. They care for about 120 animals a year. After a number of months, the animals go to other zoos or back out into the park, like Shangaza here. When she was a baby, the keepers were her foster parents. Now, out on her own, she's looking forward to her own baby. Any day now. It's a warm-hearted place, this Animal Care Center, nurturing critters who can't care for themselves, no matter how slimy.
2 weeks from now, Helen will be on her way to either another zoo or back out into the field with her mom and dad. Whatever her final destination, she'll have had the best of care here. And who knows, she may get to keep the wading pool and the tire.
The zookeepers have decided to not move Helen and keep her right at the zoo.
But it's a little too cold for her to go back to Mom and Dad, so they're keeping her cozy at the Animal Care Center with their very own heat lamp.
And coming up next on PM Magazine here at the Bonsu Festival, we'll take you to a family dance. And also coming up next, could the sport of broomball be sweeping the country? We'll find out.
Oh, those little Keebler elves bake uncommonly good crackers. They do it magically in a hollow tree. Townhouse crackers, they taste so buttery, baked without butter.
We do it
it magically.
It takes a touch of elfin magic to make Townhouse crackers taste so rich and buttery.
In the Keebler Hollow Tree, where we make crackers and cookies uncommonly good.
Welcome to the Ontario Winter Carnival Bond Zoo here on PM Magazine. Kathy and I are enjoying one of many events that will be going on through this first week of February. We've moved inside the John Rhodes Center where the family dance is going on. And the theme this year is the more we get together.
And you can tell just by looking around us how very popular this particular event is. And it's designed for the entire family unit. You know, when they started this about 11 years ago, they had it at the Hiawatha Lodge just outside of town. There were only about 50, 60 people who attended. Tonight, they estimate that there are 600 to 700 people, with lots more trying to come in. And it is a delight for us to be here tonight on PM Magazine. It's such a warm family atmosphere, and we're very glad that you've joined us also.
And we have many more events to show you throughout the week here on PM Magazine. In our next story, if you're tired of tennis and sick of softball and jaded about jogging, well, perhaps you should try a relatively new sport, and that is called broomball. Now, it's a distant cousin to ice hockey, and in its original form was played with a broom.
That's right. And to help you get a better handle on how the game is played today, PM Magazine's Dave Sane is going to take us to a Chicago broomball match.
These kids are learning the game of hockey, one of the fastest, most exciting sports around. And you know, a lot of weekend athletes would love to learn this game just to get what the feel is like. You may be one of them. But the trouble is you have to learn how to skate. Well, now there is a game that allows you the same thrills and excitement of hockey without having to learn to skate.
The game is called broomball, sort of a skateless brand of ice hockey, or field hockey on ice.
Once you start, it's addicting.
5 players aside, they slip and slide across the ice, swinging heavy club-like brooms.
I get butterflies every week before I come out here.
No one knows exactly when or where, but it all started someplace in Canada 15 or 20 years ago. Now it's sweeping into the U.S.
One of the best things I like about broomball is because it's different. It's like instant conversation piece, and you feel like you're maybe at the edge of something new.
They come from all walks of life.
There's high class and there's low class.
But they're all passing their prime, taking one last swipe at youthful dreams of athletic glory with a broom.
I will be 30 years old next week. 33 years old, I'm a hot tar roofer.
I'm 32 years old and I'm a policeman.
The equipment in broomball is basically the same as in hockey, but instead of skates, there's these bizarre-looking tennis shoes with foam rubber and suction cups on the bottom for better traction.
It's not that easy to run and hit the ball, keep your balance and not fall down and kill yourself.
Every good broomballer has to have a good broom. This is the older variety, a sawed-off broom dipped in latex. And here's the modern, updated version. This one lasts a little bit longer.
That started a few years ago. When people were out there with regular brooms and loading them up with lead and sheet metal and stuff.
These come in real handy. Knee and shin guards to keep your knees and shins in one piece. Some of the guys wear helmets for a little added protection. And finally, instead of a puck, this is what all the madness is about.
It's also where the game's mental toughness begins. This is a recreational game, but not for the weak at heart. That may not be a hockey puck, but that ball is hard, and a solid hit's like a cannon shot.
That bandit hurts, I'll tell you.
Imagine a bowling ball coming at you at about 25 miles an hour.
Don't get a good 80-mile-an-hour shot off.
You can't get out of the way because it's too big, and it feels like it goes right through you if you get it in the chest.
And on the receiving end of that blast is the goalie.
I got hit in the face with the ball, cuts under my eye, a fractured nose, little things like that.
Why do you do it?
Fun.
To be a goalie in broomball, you gotta be half crazy and real quick.
I'm not crazy. I just love the game. I don't like anybody to score on me. I think I'm good, so that's why I play goalie.
Goalies aren't the only broomballers who risk pain. Every player, without benefit of the goalie's padding, takes a shot from time to time.
I'd see those things coming at me in my sleep.
But the biggest challenge for most players is just staying on their feet.
That ice isn't like a pillow.
And avoiding collision with the boards, all of which leads some observers to wonder if broomball players aren't a little crazy.
To step out on an ice without skates and swing a broom around like they do, yeah, it's a little goofy.
Actually, despite the apparent dangers, broomball injuries are few and far between, partly because high-risk penalties are strictly enforced.
On the way, number 35 on the offensive charge.
In most leagues, checking is out of the question. Slashing a player with a broomstick is strictly forbidden, and tripping an opponent is punished with a trip to the penalty box. And if occasionally passions run a little high, that's when the referee steps in to keep control. But in the end, what's fun about broomball for the people who play it is the fast action and good competition that dominates the game.
We love it. We like the competition. That's why we're here.
Strong competition demands exceptional teamwork, and teamwork is the ultimate reward for anyone who loves to play.
The story goes that they were so bored with those bleak Russian winters that they armed themselves with short Russian brooms and created the game that we call broomball. And coming up next, we'll head to the Holiday Inn here in Sault Ste. Marie to enjoy the Jazz Band Ball. And at that time, we'll be talking to Ken Lasham. He's the president of the Ontario Winter Carnival Band Sioux, and that's coming up next on PM Magazine.